Hi, my name is Andy, and I present to you our case study on the development of collaborative digital musical instruments for students with complex disabilities using the Some for Many strategy. In our paper, my supervisor Norbert, Schnell and I describe the development of several digital musical instruments addressing the challenges of designing for and with this specific user group. In general, music making must be considered a basic human right, and as well can benefit musical and non-musical competencies which are important in the context of special educational needs schools. Naturally, for active music making, there's a need for appropriately accessible instruments. The problem is that conventional musical instruments may be experienced as inaccessible, especially by students with so-called complex disabilities. Despite the potential of digital musical instruments in this regard, recent research has shown a need for instruments specifically designed for the use in context of SEN schools. That's why we conducted a year-long participatory design project where we worked with a diverse group of students and their music teachers. In our presentation, we focus on the subset of instruments which we developed especially for the students with complex disabilities in our group. And for more information on this terminology, please refer to our paper. Most important for our project was the challenge that common participatory design methods were not feasible due to challenges in communication. That's why we came up with a specific design strategy, which we called Some for Many. The basic idea was to create instruments in an iterative way based on the user's typical everyday movements, with the assumption that a set of instruments designed in this way may also benefit a wider range of users. This is in line with the basic idea solve for one, extend to many from inclusive design. Furthermore, we draw on principles from ability-based design and design with proxies. In the first step, it is important to observe and interact with the students for a longer period. Next, the observations should be validated with proxies who know the students, which may be teachers, personal assistants, parents, and so forth. The following steps include an iterative process of designing musical instruments based on the identified interactions and to test the instruments with the students. We provide a detailed description of our observations and the children's abilities and preferences that led to the instrument design in our paper. In total, we identified 6 everyday interactions of the children. Those were moving, hitting, shaking, joystick interaction, shifting, and pressing. For example, the category shaking originated from the observation of one student always carrying a ball-shaped rattle, which he enjoyed interacting with. This figure shows an overview of the 8 instruments that we designed based on the identified categories. For example, for the category shaking, we used a similar rattle ball to the one the student was used to interact with, but we augmented it with a motion sensor that sent the data wirelessly to a laptop to control the intensity of different loops. Unfortunately, due to the live streaming, we cannot share videos of the children interacting with the instruments. In the following, we will present a short summary of our main findings while using the instruments with the students, and our evaluation was based on observations, interviews with the music teachers, and also with the children's personal assistants. Most of the students in our music group have embraced the instruments that have been especially designed for them. Some especially responded positively to the different possibilities for interaction and benefited from having a wide variety of musical instruments to choose from. An underlying assumption was that the musical instruments developed this way could also provide access to active music making for other children with similar abilities and needs. This assumption was confirmed by the teachers. The teachers overall rated the project as a great success and spoke of significant potential for the students in our project. They particularly emphasized the need for clear forms of interaction and how the instruments supported experiences of self-efficacy. They also described a major benefit in allowing the students to actively participate in shared music lessons as opposed to regular music classes without our instruments, and how this had a positive impact on how the students were perceived by their peers. But we also found that not only the accessibility of the instruments was important, other important factors were their creative use and the integration of familiar narratives and meaningful structures for the students. Of course, as a qualitative study with a limited sample size, it is important to acknowledge that the results cannot be generalized and further research seems necessary. Further, we could not create suitable instruments for all the students in our group. Thus, it seems necessary to further explore alternative ways of interaction. Some suggestions for this are already provided in our paper. We hope this case study may inspire similar projects and give some guidance on how they might be conducted. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me.